business analysis is all about taking advantage of opportunities, solving problems, and at the end of the day, you are creating a solution. It could be a product, it could be a service, it could be even improving a process. But at the end of the day, whatever you do as a business analyst should deliver value to your stakeholders. And so, who is a business analyst? So according to the IIBA Barbock, a business analyst is anyone that performs business analysis tasks. So basically, a business analyst will be found in this spot here, in the middle here, doing all of this. This is where the business analyst is within the organization. And it doesn't matter your job title. And I think you are the one that asked the question about the difference between a technical BA and a BA. As long as you perform, what is important is the task you perform, not your job title. So today you can actually be performing business analysis activities in the organization and you don't even know it. So again, a BA is anyone that performs business analysis tasks, no matter their job title. I emphasize this because I've met with people that come and say, oh, they feel guilty trying to update their LinkedIn profile and changing the job title to a BA because they've not been doing business analysis or they are not called BA. And I refer them to this definition. Of course, I don't encourage people to go change their job title, but as long as you're able to identify the business analysis tasks and activity in your prior experience, you are a business analyst, whether you were called a BA or not. I came across this definition recently and I felt it was important to put it in here. So CIO.com, if anyone knows of this publication, it's an IT based publication. They are very good. I usually read them up when I'm doing research to work on my project. So they say business analysts need to know how to pull data, analyze, report data trends, and be able to share it with stakeholders, with others, and apply it on the business side. So for me, of course, a BA does much more than just knowing how to pull and analyze reports and data trends. But what caught my attention here is the fact that they need to apply it on the business side. So you can know all the technical jargons and all, but if you're not speaking the language that the business can relate to, then you are not actually performing core business analysis tasks. And then they went further to say, not all business analysts need a background in IT. So one common question I hear from people is, do I need to know how to code to be a BA? No, you don't have to. So they say here, not all BAs need a background in IT, as long as they have a general understanding of how system works, how product and tools work. And I would also add how processes work. If you have a good understanding of how processes work, then you are close to home. We are still talking about who a BA is. And then the Global State of Business Analysis Report. So this report is authored by IIBA, and IIBA stands for International Institute for Business Analysis. They usually do a survey every year to check the pulse of the business analysis career. They interview business analysis professionals from all over the world. Typically, you have close to about 5,000 respondents responding to these surveys. And the kind of job titles that people that perform business analysis work had were only 43% of them actually had the actual title business analyst. Others were BA/PM, which is my job title today. IT business analyst, you have business systems analyst sometimes. 9% of them are called consultants. 6% are managers, they are directors, they are VP, they are C-suite level executives, and they are doing business analysis work. You also have product owners, you have hybrid role, and of course, 11% could have been called anything. So 65% of the respondents report the business analyst title was not reflected in their title, yet they were doing business analysis work. So other common titles you could have is the business architect, data analyst, operations support analyst, yes, planning and forecasting analyst. And most times people that have analyst at the end of their name are actually doing one form of BA work or the other, but they don't even know. Could even be a marketing analyst, operations analyst. That doesn't mean if you don't have an analyst at the back of your name, you are not doing BA work. We also have other functional business analyst job titles. For example, in the technology space, you could have Salesforce business analyst, you could have SAP BA, Microsoft Dynamics business analyst. I've seen Sage ERP business analyst. If you also look at it from a domain perspective, you could have some people could have a job title, or some people called insurance BAs. You could also have manufacturing BAs, banking, healthcare BAs. Then sometimes when you look at it from the perspectives, because business analysis is practiced across different industry and practices. You could also have a data analyst that is doing BA work, a process analyst, which was actually my first job title. You could have a BA, a cybersecurity BA. You could also have agile BAs, business intelligence analysts, and on and on and on. And of course, you could also just have someone that is called a business analyst, which most times is the person is a generalist. And what do I mean by that? They do not work, they can work in any industry, in any domain. They've not kind of specialized in one particular domain. Most people you hear that most insurance BAs and healthcare BAs have practically spent the bulk of their career, the bulk of their time as business analysts in those domains, and that's why they put that title. And maybe that's their preferred area they want to practice, and they just want to remain in that space. So can you tell me other common job titles you know about I've not mentioned here? If you can please share that information in the chat. Oh yeah, IJ says HR professional. Yeah, you have in fact, I'll tell you, I worked with a HR business partner. That was the job title, but that guy was actually doing business analysis. He was attached to the HR team. The job title was HR business partner. He was doing business analysis work. Yes. Yeah, Sheila and IJ, I actually have about 4 HR folks in the last cohort, and they were great. They could easily relate to the business analysis principle and practices. Oh yes, Joy, you saw the healthcare business analyst. Definitely, you can become a business analyst in the pharmaceutical industry. Yeah, Ugo, thank you, implementation manager. So let's move on to the skills required of a business analyst. What are the skills required of business analysts? Now, I would also refer to the IIBA Global State of Business Analysis report. So, and let's just look at the soft skills. We have other technical skills that are always learnable. For me, I say soft skills are kind of harder to master. The technical skills are easier to master. That is my opinion. The top skills required of BA, you see the topmost here is communication. As a business analyst, you need to be great at communication. And when I say communication, you know, there's verbal, there's non-verbal. So you have communication skills. And when we mean communication, like I'm doing a presentation here today, as a BA, you facilitate lots of conversation. You make presentations. You will write lots of emails. You will speak to C-suite executive. You will speak to operators. You will speak to different levels of people in the organization. So you need to know how to communicate effectively. You need to know your audience and know how to be able to reach to them. The way you will communicate to C-suite executive will be different from the way you would communicate to lower level staff. Problem solving. And I think Chinyere mentioned it when we're defining business analysis, because basically, like we mentioned, every organization is trying to take advantage of opportunities and solve their problem, because they're everyday problems that come along in a business typically. You have to be a good listener, because you will do a lot of information gathering, information acquisition. It's important to know that as a business analyst, you are a collaborator. You cannot create value on your own. You have to work with people. You have to work with people in the organization to be able to solve that problem. You can only solve a problem you understand. And the people, the operation people, the team, the people that do the actual work, we'll have to explain to you, we'll have to define those problems to you before you then apply your core business analysis skills to help them solve those problems. So you need to be a good listener. You need to be able to engage people in conversation, be able to know how to approach people to elicit the business analysis, the information you need to do your work. You need to be a critical thinker. You need to think to be able to solve problems, coming up with different solution options. You should be adaptable. You could, because a BA work, you can never define what work you'll be doing today and what work you'll do tomorrow. Anything can come up in form of a project. So you should be able to adapt to different situations and circumstances. Good relationship building skills, because your work is done with people, not with machines, right? And that's why most organizations will say they need a BA to be the middleman between the IT folks and the business folks, because you need to be able to bring people together, collaborate to solve problems. You need to have good organizational skill, because you have lots of, you are kind of coordinating many moving wheels. You need to be able to organize yourself, organize others, and get the work done. Decision making, emotional intelligence, and all the likes. Then I have this slide here. It was a presentation made by the former president of the IIBA, and he calls this that these are the skills BAs of the future should have. And I want to go through this very quickly. A BA should be big picture minded. You can't be narrow focused. So, for example, you are a business analyst and you are working with the marketing team, for example. While you are doing the work with the marketing team, you need to also put in mind, how does this work I'm doing with the marketing team impact the operations team? How does this work I'm doing, or how will any change I implement in the marketing team impact finance, HR, and other parts of the organization? So when you are solving a problem, you need to also look at it holistically. You don't kind of just zoom in and focus in one area, because at the end of the day, you are trying to enable change in the organization. You need to be empathetic with the customers. Again, you are trying to help them solve a problem. You need to be able to see the problem through their eyes. You need to be able to understand them, to understand their emotions, how they actually feel about the problem and the solution. So empathy is a good skill to have as a BA. You need to be strategic. Like I said, again, it also ties to that big picture thinking. You are solving a problem at the tactical level. You need to see how that ties into the strategic objectives of the organization. Also, how that rolls out to the operational day-to-day activities of that organization. You need to be flexible. You cannot learn one technique and only know that technique. Then it now becomes a case of one that in your toolbox, you only have hammer. So every problem looks like a nail or something you need to hit to fix the wall. So you need to be flexible to change. For example, I'm learning so many new techniques to understanding and writing requirements, which was not what I used to do when I started out in my career. Be flexible to understand different and changing contexts and be able to know the right skills and tools to use to help the business at that point in time. You need to be innovative. You need to question the status quo. You don't need to tag along with the business that says this is how we've always done it. How can we do it better? How can we make this product even better? How can we serve our customers better? How can we derive more value? So innovative, collaborative, engaging with stakeholders. I think I've talked a whole lot about that in the last slide. Then of course, tech savvy. Today, we're in a digital world, and the COVID pandemic accelerated that quite a lot. Most organizations today are working remotely, and they've looked for many ways to digitize their processes. So you cannot run away from technology as a business analyst. Do you need to know how to code? Do you need to know all the JavaScript? You need to take some certification in Azure and all those cloud solutions and all of that. You don't need to do that, but you need to understand how technology works and how technology digitizes or automates business processes. And like I tell people, always start from process. Once you understand the process, you will see the relationship between process and technology and how that automates or digitizes a business. Then, of course, customer focus. At the end of the day, every organization is built to sell a product or a service to the customer. The customer is the key person. So you are selling the product to the customer. So at the end of the day, the organization is in business to keep the customer happy so that the organization is happy. If the customer is not happy, the organization cannot be happy. So it's important that when you are solving problem, the customer is uppermost on your mind. And again, your customer can actually be internal. It doesn't have to be the external customer that buys the product or the service the organization sells. You could have internal customers. So you need to pay attention to what their needs are, and making sure that also ties to the organizational, the strategic objectives of that organization. Okay, so I'll ask the question now. Which of the skills listed do you think you possess? For those that are intermediate BAs, okay, I know you would give me responses, but the new and aspiring BAs, we've listed so many skills. I'll quickly go back. So which of these skills do you think you possess? Which other ones do you think you can quickly learn? We have lots of them here: communication, problem solving, listening. So which of these skills do you think you have? Because now you are looking at transferable skills, skills that can help you start out business analysis. Yeah, building and maintaining relationship. Thank you. Listening, communication, tech savvy, good. Empathy, customer service, collaboration, yeah. IJ says communication skills, relationship, yeah, communication and tech savvy, good. Listening, very important. Customer focus, yeah. I have a great communication skill, listening, influencing. Oh my goodness, you are a B already, Sheila. Okay, IJ says almost all. Noya says tech, good. Active listening, very important. Very important, I tell you. Customer focus and empathy. Thank you. Keep it coming. Almost all. Shinyori says flexible, empathetic, communication. Good, good. Customer focus, communication, and tech. Okay, thank you very much. So now at least we know the skills we have, and we now know that we actually do have some transferable skills, and we can actually become BAs, like not in your imagination, like real BA, if you just put in some extra work.